What's up, YouTube? I hope each and every one of you guys are healthy and enjoying life today. In today's video, I'm going to be reviewing the 2024 Kia Telluride SX X Pro. Huge thank you to Shin over at Safford Kia of Manassas, Virginia for allowing me to do this video for you guys today. If you are interested in this particular Telluride or any Kia product, I'll be sure to have Kevin's information on screen as well as in the description box down below. But with that said, let's get into the video. All right, well, just like usual, first I'm going to talk about the exterior and the performance. So like I said, this is a 2024 Kia Telluride SX X Pro, and this particular one has been painted in the optional $495 glacial white pearl exterior paint, which, by the way, matches very nicely to the X Pro's gloss black exterior trim. Now, speaking of that, I wanted to preface this video by saying for 2024, the X Pro now gets gloss black exterior trim in place of the dark gray exterior trim that it had in prior years. And by the way, the amber LED daytime running lights are back, which I think look really awesome and make this just have that unique appearance when you see it driving down the road. But starting with the headlights, as standard with the SX X Pro, you get LED projector headlights with high beam assist and a black headlight bezel. You also get amber LED daytime running lights, LED turn signals, and LED fog lights. Now, taking a step back, like I just mentioned, the X Pro gets gloss black exterior trim. So starting up here at the front end, you get a gloss black front grille that is specific to the X Pro with a gloss black grille surround. You can also see you get your Kia logo located at the center of the grille, and then just beneath your eye is where you will find your forward-facing camera. That forward-facing camera works with your 360-degree view camera system that comes standard with the SX X Pro. You also get 4 forward-facing sensors as standard as well. And then coming down just a little bit, we're going to talk about this lower grille here for a second. So with the lower grille, you get a mix of gloss and satin black. So this piece right here is gloss black. Then you get the satin black up top here and the satin black on the bottom grille as well. And then I also wanted to mention that you also get these small gloss black outer grills. So you can see very small, but I wanted to point those out to those wondering. And then just beneath that, you get some satin black cladding that leads into your satin black wheel arch moldings, which I'll get into here in a second. But I wanted to mention, with the X Pro, you get an increased ride height. So you get about a 0.4 inch lift. So you get 8.4 inches of ground clearance as opposed to the 8-inch ground clearance that you get on the non-X models. So the X line also gets 8.4 inches of ground clearance, but all the other models that don't have the X in the name get 8 inches of ground clearance. But now, coming down the side, you get these satin black wheel arch moldings, and then also with the X Pro, you get all-wheel drive system with a center locking differential. And then with the X Pro as well, you also get an increased approach and departure angle. So the approach angle is 17.9 degrees and the departure angle is 23.2 degrees. Now, also specific to the SX X Pro, you get these 18-inch matte black wheels that are wrapped in 245/60 Continental Terrain Contact all-terrain tires. I'll give you a closer view of the tread pattern on those tires, or excuse me, the wheel face of these wheels. You can see you get your Kia center cap there. And now I'll give you a closer view of the tread pattern on these tires here real quick. Rather aggressive, but also good for road use as well. Here's a little side profile shot of the sidewall. That's a closer view of what that looks like there. And then also with this vehicle, you get torque vectoring, which basically makes this thing handle better, and it helps to limit understeer if you're really pushing this thing into a turn, which I doubt a lot of you will be doing that anyways. But anyways, coming up the side, you get body color mirror caps with integrated turn signals. And as standard, these side view mirrors are heated, power folding. You get your blind spot monitoring on the upper left-hand side of your driver's side mirror and on the upper right-hand side of your passenger side mirror. You also get memory settings. So with this trim level, you get 2 driver seat settings. So it will memorize both of your, your wife or you, or vice versa. So it'll memorize your seat settings, but not only does it memorize the driver seat settings, it also will remember your side view mirror settings as well. So that is definitely very nice. And then you also get blind spot view, which I'll put on screen right now. And this is the camera for the blind spot view system, as well as the 360-degree view camera system. just figured I might point those two features out while we are on talking about the side view mirrors and the cameras on the side view mirrors. But here's a little side profile shot of the Telluride. So at the top, you get that gloss, or these gloss black roof rails. There's a view of what those look like up top there. But one thing that I found interesting is that you get gray window trim. So I would have expected gloss black window trim, but this is gray window trim, and it goes from the top to the bottom. You also get body color door handles with keyless access. Just keep in mind, the keyless access function is only on your front two doors. The rear two doors do not get the keyless access function. And then coming all the way to the bottom here, this isn't really picking up all that well on the camera, but you get satin black door cladding with a gloss black accent trim piece. So I'll try to pick it up on camera here, but you can see you get that gloss black trim piece, but the door cladding itself is that satin black. And then coming around to the back end, I'm going to give you a rear 3/4 shot of this thing here real quick. That is what it looks like back here. You get your fuel door. All you got to do is press on it and it will open up. However, you do not get a capless filler neck, so you do have to twist this off. I know, so difficult to do. But anyways, closing that back up, I wanted to mention that with the SX X Pro, you get a self-leveling rear suspension. So let's say, you know, you're pulling at the max capacity and, you know, you're squatting because you got all that tongue weight on there. Well, basically, this has a self-leveling rear suspension. So instead of you squatting going down the road like that, it's going to level it out to where it needs to be when you're towing those heavy loads. So that's a very, very nice feature that you get with the X Pro. But coming up top here, you get a body color shark fin antenna. You also get a body color roof spoiler. Here is your integrated third brake light. You get a rear window defroster as well as a rear wiper and LED taillights. One thing I think is pretty cool about the LED taillights, they match the front headlights with the black taillight bezel. So you get the black headlight bezel. Well, you also get the black taillight bezel back here as well. And these lights are very, very nice looking. And they kind of, at least right here, this kind of reminds me of the taillights that you would find on a Cadillac XT6. But anyways, moving on from there, here's a little booty shot of the Telluride SX X Pro. So you may be able to tell on your liftgate, you get that satin chrome badging with the Kia badging, the Telluride lettering, and the X Pro badging on the lower right-hand side of your liftgate. Now, coming to the center of your liftgate, that's where you will find your backup camera, and then just to the right of the backup camera, you'll feel a little pad. If you press on that pad, the liftgate will open up. This is a power liftgate, and it is height adjustable. So you got your height adjustment things right there. It lets you know how to do it. And then you can also turn the auto closing liftgate off by the push of that button there. Now, taking a look at trunk space. This is the amount of trunk space that you have with the third row seats up. I'd say you have about, I don't know, 2.5 to 3 feet here of storage space. But if you need a little bit more trunk space, you can pull on this here. It's going to drop the headrest, and you can drop these third row seats like that. So then you get an additional 3 feet of storage space there. So now you get tons and tons of storage space back here. Also, with this trim level, you get a 150 watt or 115 volt household power outlet. That is what that looks like there. And then on this side, you get a 12 volt power outlet, and then you can drop the second row seats by the push of this button here. So now I click that button, the second row seat will begin, or will drop. And then if you wanted to bring the third row seats back up, all you got to do is pull on this, and the third row seats will come back into position. Pull that back up. Same thing here as well. Pull up on that, and the third row seats will come back into position. And then underneath here, that's where you will find your jack. And then if you lifted this thing up and you lift it up on that, basically, I believe you would stick the physical key in there, and that would unlock your rear spare tire. And your rear spare tire is located up underneath here. I'm not sure how well it's coming up on camera. But anyways, closing that back up, press that button, and the lift gate will begin to close again. And then let's just finish things off here at the back end, shall we? So, coming down a little bit, you get a gloss black rear valance, which is what this area is right here. Then the lower portion of the bumper is satin black. You get 4 sensors integrated into that gloss black valance. You also get your reverse lights right there. You see those white things? Those are your reverse lights. And then on the outsides of those are the 2 reflectors back here. And then you also get a dual exhaust system, which is on the right hand side. So I know it kind of looks like a single exit exhaust because it's on one side. I think they should have put a second so it would be a quad tip exhaust, but you can see the dual exit exhaust right there. And then, like I already mentioned and pointed out, I'm going to do it again, you have your spare tire located underneath there as well. And then last but not least, with the SX X Pro, you get an increased towing capacity. So the max tow capacity is 5,500 pounds. So that is plenty capable. So let's say you're going to do some camping, you can tow your camper, you could tow a couple side-by-sides, you can tow four-wheelers, and if you got a boat, 21 foot, 22 foot center console, you can tow that as well, as long as it's under, again, 5,500 pounds. So plenty capable off-road, plenty capable when it comes to towing. So let me know what you think overall of the exterior appearance of the SX X Pro so far in the comment section down below. I'm curious to hear your opinions. I think it looks pretty sweet. But with that stuff out of the way, let's move into performance. Popping open that hood reveals that 3.8 liter naturally aspirated V6 that makes 291 horsepower and 262 pound-feet of torque. It is mated to an 8-speed automatic transmission for a 0 to 60 time in 7 seconds. And if you were wondering about fuel economy, you can achieve 18 miles per gallon in the city, 24 miles per gallon on the highway for 20 miles per gallon combined with all-wheel drive. In my opinion, I think those fuel economy numbers are pretty dang good, considering you got these beefy tires, you got a pretty dang capable vehicle when it comes to towing. However, I would like to see just a little bit more power, you know, maybe just over 300 horsepower, maybe a little bit over 300 pound-feet of torque, maybe 290 torque. So I would like to see a little bit more power and a little bit more torque. But when you get this thing out on the road, it doesn't feel sluggish. It doesn't really feel slow. It's just kind of a numbers thing for me. But if you're enjoying the video so far today, please be sure to give this video a big thumbs up. Please hit that subscribe button. I'm on my journey to 100,000 subscribers, and I cannot get to my goal without your support. So I'd really appreciate it if you're enjoying the video. If you've learned anything from this video, please just take a second, give it a thumbs up, hit that subscribe button, and leave a comment in the comment section down below. The likes and comments look very good for my channel in the YouTube algorithm, and that is what helps me grow. So I'd appreciate it if you do those 3 things. But with that stuff out of the way, let's move into the interior. Moving on into the interior, like I mentioned earlier in the video, you do get keyless access. So all you have to do is have your key fob in your pocket, walk up to the vehicle, put your hand behind the door handle, and the vehicle will unlock. You can also lock the vehicle by running your finger across this little box right here, and now the vehicle is locked. 2 beeps signifies that it is unlocked. 1 singular beep signifies that it is locked. And now I want to show you what the key fob looks like. So on this side it's gray, on this side it's gray, and then you kind of have like that satin chrome strip going down the sides of the key fob. One thing I found interesting is that when you click any button on the key fob, that lights up in green, any of the buttons. So I wanted to walk you also through the functions on the key fob. So you have your lock function, your unlock function, your power liftgate function, your panic function, and then you also have your remote start function here as well. So if you wanted to remote start the vehicle, all you have to do is press the lock button first, and then press and hold on this button here, and it'll fire up. And that is what it sounds like when it fires up. But now let's take a look at what we got going on here in the interior. So with the SX X Pro, you get leather seating surfaces. So this is the black leather interior. If you go 1 trim level above this, you get the Napa leather interior. So this is just the leather. You can get a nicer leather interior, but you do have to pay a little bit more money, obviously, in order to do so. So let's start with the door panel here. So at the top of the door panel, you get some vinyl wrapping. Then you get some like faux, like wood grain trim. It almost looks like in a way, but it also looks like a faux wood grain trim. And then you get some satin chrome trim beneath that, a satin chrome looking door handle, 2 memory seat adjustment settings. You get a little speaker right there. Coming over to here, if you press on that button, that is going to power fold in or out your side view mirrors. And then these arrows, as well as this switch right here, are your power side view mirror controls. You have your unlock and your lock functions. You get automatic up and down windows at all 4 corners. This button right here is going to restrict your passenger window privileges, and it is also a child lock for the second row passengers as well. So when you click on that button, that is going to restrict the access to the outside for the second row passengers on the interior. So coming over to here, you get a leather wrapped armrest, some accent colored stitching, and the armrest is also nicely padded. Then you get a spot you could set a phone in the door panel as well. I have an iPhone 14 Pro Max and it fits in there, as you may be able to tell. And then with the SXX Pro, you get a Harman Kardon premium sound system, which by the way sounds very, very nice. I like the way that it sounds with the bass, the clarity, and the volume. I think it's just an overall great sound system. And then starting from about here on down, it's all satin black plastic. You get a reflector there, some miscellaneous storage space, in a spot you could set a water bottle. Then you get a nice brushed aluminum door sill. And then taking a look at our front seats, they say X Pro on the seat back of only the front two seats. And then the SXX Pro comes standard with a 10-way power driver seat with power lumbar and a thigh extension. So you can see you get the thigh extension. So if I click right here, you can see that the extension starts to come out. And then as for the front passenger seat, you get an 8-way power passenger seat with lumbar. You do not get the thigh extension on the passenger side. By the way, both of these front seats are heated and ventilated, and you also do get a heated steering wheel as standard. But now, let's step on into the interior and see what we got going on here inside. So I'm going to turn the vehicle on, key fob in the interior, foot down on the brake, and then push to start. That is what it looks and sounds like when you fire this thing up. So basically what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna walk you throughout the interior, starting with these buttons over here. So this is to brighten and or dim your gauge cluster as well as your backlit buttons. This is going to turn your tow mode on or off, depending on if it is already on or off. Then this is your hill descent control button. If you press and hold on that for like a second or two, that will pop open and or close your power lift gate. You don't have to hold it the whole time that it is opening and or closing. And then this button is to turn your traction control system on or off. Coming down, if you flip that down, that gives you access into your manual tilting and telescoping steering wheel. So you can bring the steering wheel towards you. You can push the steering wheel away from you. And then you can also move it up and down until you find your comfortable position. Once you find your comfortable position, just lock it right back into place by pushing up on that. And that is that. Now, let's take a listen to the turn signal. That is what the turn signal sounds like. And that is also your blind spot view monitor there as well. I'm gonna put that back into position. And not only is this your turn signal control stock, this is also your high beam control stock, your headlight control stock, and your fog light control stock. So I'm gonna walk you throughout the headlight controls first. So all the way down, that is off. That is headlights in the automatic position. It also lets you know over there as well as you're going throughout this. So right now, that is parking lights on. And then all the way up is headlights in the always on position. You can see it's letting you know there. It also lets you know physically here. And then this is fog lights off. This is fog lights on. One thing that I like about this switch is that you can see it's on this side, but then it is also here as well. So you have like two sides that you can turn the fog lights on or off. So I think that's pretty sweet. But I like to leave it in automatic. I think the vehicle does a pretty good job at turning the lights on and off when need be. Now zooming back out, you get a leather wrapped steering wheel that is also heated, and your heated steering wheel button is over here, on or off. You get one level of adjustability with the heated steering wheel. And just like any other vehicle, you have your horn at the center. So let's take a listen to the horn. That is what the horn sounds like on the Telluride. Now, coming over to here, with these controls, this is to speak to the vehicle. This star, as well as this mode button, both of these buttons here are configurable. This right here is going to pop up your phone screen if I had my phone connected, which it should be connected. I don't know why it is not connecting or whatever right now. But anyways, that will pop up your phone screen here on the infotainment system, and then that will also pick up and or hang up on a phone call. This is your volume controls, volume up, volume down, and then if you just press on that, that is to mute the audio system. And then one thing I find interesting about Kia products is that if you push up on that, that is to go backwards on a track, and if you push down, that is to go forwards on a track. So it's kind of counterintuitive, at least of what I would think it would be. I think up would go forward and back, or down would go back, but it's vice versa, opposite of what I would think. But basically, I'm gonna click on this mode button, and I'm gonna show you that this is a configurable button. And basically, when you click that button, it can either bring you into your XM, your AM, your FM, your USB music. And one thing about the mode button, is that you can have it be more than one thing. So I could have it be XM, AM, and FM. So when I switch, it's going to go to XM, AM, and FM every time I click that button. Or I can have it literally be all of these different things. Or I can have it be none of them. But again, it can either be nothing, or it can be one thing, or it can be many things. So anytime you click that button, it could be XM. Any of these things here, you can make that button do, if that makes sense. So anytime I have that button, I can bring me into USB music, so on and so forth. However, when I click this star button here, it will bring me into this, and it does the same thing. So I could be brought into, you know, canceling a route. It could bring me into my map stuff. It could bring me into the passenger talk thing, which I'll get into later in the video. It can bring me into ending a call. However, with that button right there, you can only click one of these things. So you may be able to tell you can't click more than one thing. It's only got to be one of these things. And again, it's any of these things here on screen. And right now I just have it set to none. But anyways, that is what these two buttons do. Again, they are configurable. And then on this side of the steering wheel, this vehicle comes standard with smart cruise control with stop and go. So this, and this, all of these controls here are for your smart cruise control / driver assistance features. Again, these buttons here, and then this thing and these two things, or these two things, are all to control your 12.3-inch digital gauge cluster. So before we get into the digital gauge cluster, I also wanted to show you, this is your windshield wiper control stock for your front windshield wipers and your rear wiper. But now moving on into our digital gauge cluster. On the left hand side, you can see you have your speedometer. On the right hand side, you have your tachometer. Down here, that is the odometer. I believe this is letting me know which drive mode I am in at the moment. This is the average fuel economy right now. This is the instant fuel economy. This is the ambient exterior temperature. You get your fuel gauge over here. You have your fuel range there. I think I pointed this out, but this is your coolant temperature gauge. Digital speedometer readout. You got your speed limit sign there. This lets you know what the transmission status is, whether you're in park, reverse, neutral, drive. And then that is headlights on, that is parking lights on, and that is fog lights on. And then up top here, you can go in between these different things. That's letting us know the auto stop start system is on at the moment. And then that is some driver assistance stuff. So if I click this button here, it's gonna let me know that the auto stop start system is off because that goes away. But going throughout this screen, I'm gonna go start here. This is your driver assistance screen. If I press and hold on this, it's gonna pop up the driver assistance stuff here on the infotainment system. So basically you can go and do all your driver assistance features here on that screen when you press and hold on that on this screen. Now if I click this button here, it's gonna bring me into this. So I can either be on my digital speedometer readout, or I can have my drive information, my since refueling information, accumulated information, the auto stop start timer. But personally, I like this screen. Clicking this button one more time, it's gonna bring me into my compass. And if I click this one more time, I can either see my tire pressure stuff, but I have to be driving in order to see my tire pressures, which is kind of silly. And then if I click down, this is basically showing you what is powering the vehicle forward. So let's say you floor it. Most likely all of these 4 boxes here are going to be filled in, but you can see they're basically 4 boxes, but they're all separated. So basically, I would assume that this is going to favor the front wheels with its all-wheel drive system. So if I'm just doing a regular acceleration, I might have like 3 of these boxes shaded for the front wheels, and then maybe 1 of the boxes shaded for the rear wheels, basically showing that the front wheels are powering the vehicle forward more than the rear wheels. So it's showing you basically like the torque split on where the vehicle is being powered forward from. So that is kind of about it for that screen. Again, if this was my vehicle, this is the screen that I would leave it on personally. But up top here, you get a vinyl wrapped dash, you get a speaker there, but coming down over to here, this is your 12.3-inch infotainment system with built-in navigation and wired Apple CarPlay and wired Android Auto connectivity. Personally, I think for a 2024 vehicle, I think that this should absolutely have wireless Apple CarPlay and wireless Android Auto. That is one of my gripes with Kia products, is that they've wired CarPlay, but they don't have wireless. So I think that's kind of silly. But anyways, this is your home screen. You can see your date, your time, and the media stuff, as well as on this side of the screen, it's basically like your subtle navigation screen. Now swiping over this way, that brings you into this screen. So this is one of your menu screens. This is the second screen, but back over to this screen. Up top here, you got your time, you got your date. This is the driver profile, I believe. Yep, driver 1. I'm gonna back out of that. This is your home button. So this is the home button on the screen. This is like, if you click on that, that will bring you into that. But I wanted to show you, you can bring your climate control stack throughout this screen. So this is a tri-zone climate control vehicle. So you get the dual zones in the front, and then the rear passengers have their own zone. Let me go back into the home screen. Then you can pop up your rear climate stuff here as well. Back that out of that. And again, this has passenger talk. So basically passenger talk is when, let's say your kids are being annoying in the back, you can hear a little bit of an echo, right? So I'm talking right now, and basically my voice is being projected in the rear, out of the rear speakers. So take a listen, you can hear a little bit of an echo. Now you can't hear the echo anymore because I turned it off. Now I'm gonna turn it back on and you'll hear a little bit of that echo again. So let's say, you know, the passengers in the rear are being annoying. You can go into the passenger talk screen right here and you turn it on, which right now it is on, and you can be like, shut the anyways. When they're being really annoying. But I'm gonna back out of that, and then you can see this is also quiet mode. So let's say, you know, the passengers are being good in the rear, right? And you're listening to music, but the passengers in the rear are taking a nap. So basically when you're listening to music and you click on this quiet mode here, it's only going to display or play the music throughout these front speakers, and it's going to bring the volume down. So none of the rear speakers are going to have any music playing out of them when in quiet mode. It's only going to be the speakers here in the front that are playing music, and it's also going to automatically lower the volume as well. But then you can pop up your navigation stuff here on this screen, as well as the point of interest stuff. For some reason, the home button does not want to be working right now, and I don't quite understand what is going on, because normally it does a pretty good job. But I'm gonna go back into the menu here. So luckily you have the physical controls here on this screen. I don't quite understand why the home button is not working. It's kind of annoying right now. But anyways, swiping over to here, I also wanted to show you that, let's say you needed to go into like some sort of setting and you didn't know where it was. Literally all you have to do is click on this magnifying glass and you can type in like your driver assistance settings, right? And it's gonna pop that up. Makes it very easy to find what you're looking for. You can go into your sound settings. So we're gonna go into sound, and it's gonna pop up your sound settings. So it just makes things very easy to do, you know, with this vehicle. You know what I'm saying? So back at it, I really don't understand why the home button isn't working right now, because they always work, and this system is always very good, but for some reason it's tripping up a little bit today. Coming down, you get 5 HVAC vents on the dash, 3 here, and then 2 outer ones. Coming down a little bit more, this is your volume control knob. This is your tuning control knob, and then you have all of these physical controls here. So this is gonna pop up your map on the screen. This is gonna pop up your navigation stuff on the screen, radio stuff, media stuff, so on and so forth. Then you got your hazard button. Then this is to go backwards on a track, this is to go forwards on a track, and this is another configurable button. So you can see this is shaded in, this is not shaded in, and then you get your mode button up top there. So basically this is another configurable button, and it can do any of these things. So it can be your home button, which I'm going to make it my home button now. So now whenever I click that, it's going to bring me into my home screen. So that's pretty cool, and that's why I love the configurable button. And then this is your setup button. When you click on that, it's going to bring you into your settings screen. But again, this is my home button because I configured it to be my home button. So I love that. That's what makes this vehicle so good. And then coming down a little bit more, this is your climate control stack. I love how it's got a physical climate control stack. I'll show you what it looks like when it's on. This is where the rear temperatures would display. Then you get your temperatures here for the front driver and the passenger, fan speed, and then it also lets you know where the wind is blowing or the air is blowing right there as well. One thing though is take a look at this dash. Take away this steering wheel and the way that the steering wheel looks. But is it just me, or does this look like very BMW-ish? Like this, see how it like protrudes out like right here? This is so BMW, it's crazy. And then also the materials like that, it's very BMW the way that it looks to me. And if you agree, let me know in the comments down below. It's just very BMW like right here, like from here over. If you see what I'm talking about, let me know in the comments down below. But then if I push up on that, that is going to turn my heated seat on. And if I pull down on that, that's going to turn my ventilated seat on. So you get a heated seat with 3 levels of adjustability, and you get a ventilated seat with 3 levels of adjustability. And then if I pull back on this, you get some basically very simple looking, and it's all gloss black, piano black, whatever you want to call it. And then opening that up, you get a 12-volt power outlet, you get a USB-A port, you get a USB-C port, and you also get a wireless charging pad as standard as well. I have an iPhone 14 Pro Max, and it fits down in that wireless charging pad, no problem. And then once the phone is charging, it will light this light up right here in like an amber type of color, letting me know that the phone is charging. So see, now it's letting me know that the phone is charging. Coming back a little bit more, you get a spot you can set some miscellaneous items. You get 2 cup holders here. If you wanted to go into manual mode, you'd have to go into drive, flip this over to the left, and then you push up to upshift, pull down to downshift, and that is that. Again, like I said, with the SX Pro, you get a center locking diff. So if I click on that, the diff is locked. It lights up in amber, letting me know. And then this is my drive mode selector. Right now I'm in smart mode. Then you get a sport mode. You get a comfort mode. You get an eco mode and a snow mode, and you can see the gauge cluster will change dependent on which mode you're in. So this is sport mode. You can see how they change dependent on the modes. This is going to turn your parking sensors on or off. This is going to pop up your 360-degree view camera system. Press that button again and it will go away. This is your auto hold function. Basically, when you're tired of holding your foot down on your brake in traffic, when you have that button activated, the vehicle will hold you in place by itself with its braking system. And then this is to turn your auto stop start system on or off. When that is illuminated, it is off. Pulling up on that is going to engage your electronic parking brake. If you wanted to disengage it, you push your foot down on the brake, push against that, and the parking brake will disengage. One thing I kind of glossed over is down here. Take a look at these aluminum sport pedals. You get a floor-mounted accelerator. I think that is pretty cool. You also get interior ambient lighting, and you get 64 different color options with the ambient lighting system as well. Now coming over to here, you get a leather wrapped armrest, accent colored stitching, and it is nicely padded. Then you get a divider in here that you can take out. And if I take all this junk out, you get a USB-C port down in there. And I would say you get quite a bit of storage space down in there as well. I'm gonna put this back over here, put that back down in there. And then coming over to here, you get a lockable glove box, which is nice to see. And you get a decent amount of storage space in there. I would say I'm actually kind of surprised that the glove box is small. It's smaller than I would expect it to be, but you do get a light in the glove box, so that's definitely nice. But you can still fit your essentials. Like right now, the owner's manual is down in there. You can still fit your napkins, your snacks, your utensils, all the necessities, you know. But coming back over to here, you get an auto-dimming rear view mirror with your HomeLink system. HomeLink is your universal garage door opener. So if you own a house with 3 different garage bays, you can open up those 3 different garage bays individually with these 3 different buttons. And then coming up top here, you get a spot you could set your sunglasses. And then you also get a dual sunroof system. So this is your front sunroof. This sunroof actually does open. Now the sunroof in the rear, you can see the shade is going back. I don't believe that that sunroof actually opens up. It's just basically just like a shade. And if you wanted to bring the shade back, you'd pull back, and then to close the shade, you just push forward. But this sunroof actually opens. And if I close that back up, it also does tilt. So if you wanted to tilt the sunroof, basically all you would do is be push up on that, and now the sunroof is tilted open. That is that. So now that is closed. Driver gets a light, passenger gets a light, both of which are LED, driver light, passenger light. This is your button to turn on all the interior dome lights. Then you get your key connect and your roadside assistance button. This is basically whether you want the lights to turn on or not when you open up the doors. Opening up your visor, you get a vanity mirror and a vanity light, as well as a spot you could set a paper product like what is there now. And then the visor slides forwards and backwards to your liking. And then last but not least, driver gets an O-Poop handle. The front passenger also gets an O-Poop handle, but they also get another O-Poop handle here and here as well. So very nice. But really, that's kind of about it for what we got going on here in these front seats. These seats are actually very comfortable in my personal opinion, and you can make yourself comfortable with the thigh extension, the 4-way power lumbar, and the 10-way power seats. But I wanted to go over a couple things that you get as standard. You get the Harman Kardon sound system, the 10-way driver seat, the 8-way power passenger seat, heated and ventilated front seats, the smart cruise control with stop and go, the dual sunroofs, the passenger talk, the quiet mode, the wireless charging pad. The list goes on and on. The only option that this vehicle has are these $225 carpeted floor mats. And you can see they say Telluride on them. I'm not sure if the camera is going to pick them up, but I can try to get it on camera here. See, it says Telluride. So that is the only option that this vehicle has. Now I'm gonna throw the entire window sticker on screen, and you can take a look at what you get as standard, the options that this vehicle has, and anything you want to. But basically, I'm just gonna highlight the MSRP. So the MSRP of the way that this particular 2024 Telluride SX X Pro is spec'd is $52,370. And I think that is a great value for what you get, because this thing is very nice. It's got all the options you could want. I think it looks sweet. All the interior touch points are very premium. So I think that is a great value, in my opinion, at that price point. But I want to show you what we got going on here in the rear seats before moving into the driving portion of the video. So taking a look back here, you get a manual sunshade for the second row passengers. You get your door handle, obviously, automatic up and down windows here at the back, and they go all the way down, so that is definitely nice. The spot you can set a phone, a nicely padded armrest that's leather wrapped. You get a Harman Kardon speaker here and up top there. Then you get some storage space and a spot you can set a water bottle. Now opening this seat back up, this is what the seats look like here in the second row. They are second row captain's chairs, and you do get that armrest there that does lock into place, as you can hear it. Let's hear it. So you can lock it into place. So now when I'm pushing down, I can bring it up a little bit more and it's not going to move. I love that. That is definitely nice, and that adds to the seat comfortability. And then if I pulled up on this, the seat is going to recline. So I can make myself very, very comfortable here in these rear seats. But up top here, you get an OPU panel and a spot you can set your dry cleaning, as well as an HVAC vent. You also get an OPU panel here on your B pillar. Coming over to here, you get the same stuff. OPU panel, dry cleaning spot, another OPU panel, a HVAC vent, and then this is where your climate control system is. So you get your temperature controls. This is what it looks like up top here. You can turn it off, and then your fan speed. Light, both are LED. Seat back pocket behind the driver's seat. You get this little cord thing here, so when you're charging your phone, you can stick the cord behind there, and then you can set your phone down in here. So you get a seat back pocket, you get a little phone holder, 2 cup holders up top there. Coming down, you get a 12-volt power outlet, and you get the same stuff on that side. I love how this is adjustable, so you can lock it into position. So right now it's locked into position. I love that, makes it very comfortable. These seats themselves are very comfortable. My back just feels very nice. So very comfortable second row seats, tons of leg room. Don't even need to go over that because there's just tons and tons of it. But now I'm gonna get into the third row, and we're gonna see what we got going on here in the third row, as well as the comfortability in the third row. So honestly, the seats themselves are more comfortable than I was expecting. I can slide this seat forward and give myself a little bit more leg and knee room, but when it comes to connectivity, you get a USB-C port, you get 2 cup holders, you get another USB-C port on that side, and another 2 cup holders, as well as an HVAC vent, and you get your dome lights back here as well. But really, that's kind of about it for what we got going on here in the interior. So we've talked about the exterior, we've talked about the performance, and now we've talked about what's going on here in the interior. So I want to see what this thing's like to drive, as I'm assuming you guys do as well. So I'll see you guys in the driver's seat. All right, and now on to the driving portion of the video. I'm going to wait for these cars to go by, and then I'm just going to give it a full throttle acceleration once I get straightened out here. Actually, no, hit it. And that was an acceleration to about 57 miles an hour. So it's quick enough, but I would like to see a little bit more power, but I'm definitely happy to see how this thing has an 8-speed automatic transmission as opposed to a CVT. Subaru loves their CVTs, so they got a CVT in their Subaru Ascent. But I think this vehicle, like I was mentioning, is very premium for the money. I think it is a great value for what you get at the money. Now, getting into that lane, that's the blind spot view system. The brakes feel great. Let's see. Like, if I had to do a quick stop, I feel very confident in the braking ability of this. Let's try to get, yeah, braking ability is pretty good. Now, I'm gonna take a right onto this road. Here's just a regular acceleration. Check out the handling. When it comes to handling, there is a little bit of body roll, but I would say that it's actually pretty decent. I mean, obviously, you know, don't expect this thing to be the best handler. That's not what it's made to do. This is more like the off-road trim level, so obviously handling isn't its strong suit. But I would say that when it comes to, you know, off-roading, I think you could go over, you know, the majority of the terrain that you want to throw at this thing. Just be mindful of, you know, this is a 3-row SUV, and it's not, you know, a Jeep Wrangler or a Ford Bronco. So just keep that in mind when doing some off-road things. But I wanted to talk about the sound system, because the sound system sounds pretty dang good. It's got the Harman Kardon sound system and it sounds great. Nice little acceleration there, got me right into traffic. So sound system is great. The user face here is very intuitive. The seats themselves are also very comfortable. When it comes to sound insulation, hear what it sounds like at about 40. It's well insulated from the outside world, and when you hit bumps, it's actually very comfortable and it does a good job at soaking up bumps. However, you can almost kind of tell that it is kind of like an off-roady-ish suspension, because on certain bumps it feels a little bit firm, but not too firm, not uncomfortably firm. So I really like the blind spot view system. It's going to spoil me, but yeah, I mean, I think this is a great value for what you get. You get the 360 camera system, you get the blind spot view system, you get a smart cruise control system, which is the adaptive cruise control system. You get the dual sunroof. So this thing's pretty much fully loaded. Yeah, it doesn't have Napa leather and all that kind of stuff. But when it comes to, you know, a value, I think it is a great value, because you get all the features that you really want and need. And it comes at an affordable price. I know this $50-some thousand is a lot of money, but I think it goes a long way with the Telluride SXX Pro and SXX Pro. I think this thing also looks great. I love the amber LED lights, so it looks good, it drives great, it's very comfortable, it's got tons of features, and it's just an overall great value for the money, because you get a lot for your money with the features, the sound system, everything, and the towing capacity. It's all really great. 5,500 pound max tow capacity, and it's very easy to park with the 360 camera system, the front sensors, the rear sensors. But that's it for today's video. If you guys did enjoy the video, please be sure to give this video a big thumbs up. Please hit that subscribe button. I'm on my journey to 100,000 subscribers, and I cannot get to my goal without your support. So if you enjoyed the video, if you learned anything from this video, please just take a second, give it a thumbs up, leave a comment in the comment section down below, and hit that subscribe button. The likes and comments look very good for my channel in the YouTube algorithm, and that is what helps me grow. So I'd appreciate it if you would do those 3 things. But again, that's it for today's video. I will catch you all in the next one. Peace.